Hi all my dear students and welcome back to Sri Jendra Rank Zone classes. I am your mentor Amit Ajmani, and as we are all aware that in today's class we'll be discussing about the question answers related to the chapter Management of Natural Resources. So directly jump up to the questions. Let us see the first question. The Bishnoi community of Rajasthan is associated with the conservation of. Now the four options given to us are coal and petroleum, forest and wildlife, water resources, and abiotic environment. We must be knowing that the Bishnoi community of Rajasthan is associated with the conservation of forests and wildlife. It is a religion for them to conserve the forest and wildlife. So B, this is the answer that we are going to mark. Next question. The Chipko Andolan, Hug the Tree movement is associated with, simply as I told you, it is Hug the Tree movement. So it is associated with trees, not the tigers or the turtles or the tomatoes. It is associated with trees. And we must know that this Chipko Andolan started in Raini village in Garhwal, which is in lower Himalayas, and it was about in early 1970s, where the women participated mainly and hugged the trees in order to protect them. So it is related with trees. C is the right answer. Coming to the next question. Amrita Devi Bishnoi was associated with. Once again, Bishnoi community. It was just because of Amrita Devi Bishnoi who in 1731 along with 363 other villagers sacrificed her life, and she is associated with, let us see the given options, preventing the custom of child marriage in Rajasthan. It's not the right answer. Campaign to save the girl child is not the right answer. Conservation of cultural heritage, she was not associated. She is associated with conservation of forests and wildlife. So B is the right answer. Next question. One of the following is not a direct stakeholder in the management or conservation of forests. That is, the people who have paper mills, they are associated because they come under industrialists. The people who run the forest department, they are associated because they generate revenue from the forests. The people who campaign for the conservation of forest, these are the forest activists and the nature activists who are the direct stakeholders. The people who live in urban areas, people like us who are living in urban areas, we are not a direct stakeholder in the management of forests. So D, the people who live in urban areas, you need to mark it up. Coming to the next question. The river water is said to be polluted with acidic waste. If the pH of river water is it 0 or above 7 or below 7 or exactly 7? We know about the pH scale. We have already studied that when we are talking about a pH scale, it is a scale having the pH values 0 to 14, in which 7 represents normal neutral pure water, above 7 it is basic, so it can't be exactly 7 or above 7, below 7 it is acidic, and 0 means the highest, the strongest acid. So it is not 0 because the river water cannot be like pure concentrated acids, it needs to be below 7. So the river water is said to be polluted with acidic waste if the pH is below 7. C is the right answer. Correct? Let's see question number 6. The major program started to replenish the damaged forest is called. Now this program is called silviculture. It's not horticulture. We are not growing flowers. It's not agriculture. We are not growing crops. It's not tissue culture. We are not doing any kind of micropropagation. It is the silviculture. D is the right answer. Fine. Next, with which tree Amrita Devi Bishnoi is associated? Now, Amrita Devi Bishnoi sacrificed her life for protecting the khejri trees. It is not the khajur trees or kika trees, and Khejrali is actually the name of the village where these khejri trees were there. So you need to relate the difference, and you need to relate how exactly the examiner is trying to confuse you. So it is the name of the tree is Khejri and the name of the village was Khejrali. Clear? So right now in this question number 7, because we are being asked about the tree with which Amrita Devi Vishnu is associated, it is Khejri trees. C option. Okay. Next, which of the following does not contribute in producing acid rain? Sulfur dioxide contributes, nitrogen oxides also contribute, right? Now we are left with carbon dioxide and carbon monoxide. Among these, carbon monoxide does not contribute in acid rain. Carbon dioxide also does not contribute much, but carbon dioxide still, if it is soluble in water, it will form a weak carbonic acid, right? So among these, it is carbon monoxide which has no role in acid rain. So we are going to mark D as the answer to this question. Coming to the next question, the poisonous gas which reduces the oxygen carrying capacity of blood to a large extent is, options given are sulfur dioxide, nitrogen oxide, carbon monoxide and carbon dioxide. Here we know that the answer is carbon monoxide. This is a poisonous gas which actually reacts with the hemoglobin and forms a compound carboxyhemoglobin which reduces the oxygen carrying capacity, right? Let us see the next question. Which of the following is not an ancient water harvesting structure? Now this question is very good question as per me. Why is it so? Because normally what the students tend to do is, when they are learning these ancient water harvesting systems, they just learn any 5 states, the name of the states and the name of the water harvesting structures. But this type of question you will not be able to attempt unless until you know all of them, right? So the given options are kattas, kuls, sargam and surangams. It is the sargam which is not an ancient water harvesting system. Rest of all, these are all ancient water harvesting systems. Kattas are of Karnataka, Kuls are of Himachal Pradesh, and Surangams are of Kerala. Sargam is no water harvesting structure. So B will be the answer, right? Coming to the next question. Snakes are killed in large numbers because they are very poisonous. It is not because of this that they are killed in large numbers. They kill rats, not the reason. It is their skin which is very expensive, because of which poaching is done, hunting of snakes is done, because there are many products like wallets etc. are made of the skin of the snake. So C is the right answer. Next option let us consider, they damage the crops. If they are damaging the crops, I don't know how they are going to damage it, but this is not the reason why snakes are killed. So it is the monetary, it is the financial aspect because of which snakes are killed in large numbers. C is the answer. Coming to the next question. Which of the following is not a fossil fuel? Options are LPG, that is liquefied petroleum gas, natural gas, biogas, and CNG, compressed natural gas. It is the biogas, which is not a fossil fuel. LPG is obtained from petroleum. Natural gas is also obtained over the petroleum deposits, and CNG is just compressed natural gas. It is the biogas which is actually prepared from the excreta and the organic waste, and this is not a fossil fuel. Clear? So C will be the option will be marking. Let's see the next question. Which of the following is not a natural resource? Let us see the options. Soil is a natural resource. Water comes from nature. Electricity, this is not a natural resource. Natural gas is again obtained from nature. So electricity is what we generate. Fine, so it is not a natural resource. C will be the answer. In the next question, the most rapidly dwindling natural resource in the world is, dwindling is diminishing, decreasing, disappearing. The most diminishing is, options are water, sunlight, soil, and forests. I hope you all know the answer. It is the forests. Water is actually getting converted from potable, drinkable water into salty water, but it is not dwindling. Sunlight is an inexhaustible source, it can't. Soil is also eroded from the areas, but that is eroded carried by water or wind from one place to another. It is not actually dwindling. It is the forests. Deforestation at such a large level is being done, because of which these resources, forests, are depleting very, very fast. And that is one of the main reasons of concern. So D is the right answer. Let us come to question number 15. Which of the following is not a natural resource? Again the same question, but the choices are different. Snake is natural, wind is natural, wooden house is not a natural resource. Wood is natural but not wooden house. Mango tree comes from nature. So wooden house, C, is not a natural resource. Next question is, the three R's which can help us to conserve natural resources for long-term use are: recycle, perfect; regenerate, no; reuse is perfect, not regenerate; reduce is okay; regenerate, again we don't have R for regeneration; reuse is okay. Reduce, perfect; reuse is perfect, not redistribute; reduce is perfect; recycle is perfect; and reuse is perfect. So the three R's stand for reduce, recycle, and reuse. D will be the answer we will be marking. Clear? Let us see in the next question what the examiner is asking. Arabri forest of Bengal is dominated by, options given to us are teak, bamboo, sal, and mangrove. It is the sal forest which are found in the Arabri forest range in the Midnapur district of West Bengal. And A.K. Banerjee, the forest officer, he actually replenished these degraded sal forests. Fine. So sal forest B is the correct answer. Question number 18. The main reason for the abundant coliform bacteria in the water of river Ganga is it the immersion of ashes of the dead into the river? Is it the washing of clothes on the banks of the river which is causing this abundance of coliform bacteria? Or the discharge of industrial waste into the river water? Or the disposal of unburnt corpses, means dead bodies, into the river water? It is because of these unburnt dead bodies which are disposed of in river Ganga, and that is causing this huge increase in the number of coliform bacteria present in the water of the holy river, right? So D is the answer. Coming to the next question, the pH of a sample of water collected from a river is found to be in the range of 3.5 to 4.5. Now this is less than 7, that means it is acidic. The most likely reason for this is the waste being discharged into the river from a. Now it is an acidic waste. So what kind of waste is going to make the water acidic? This is what we are going to choose from the options given. Soaps and detergents manufacturing in this factory, these are basic in nature. Car battery manufacturing factory, it is the answer. Why? Because the batteries contain acid. Alcohol manufacturing factory, alcohol is neutral, not acidic. Plastic cups molding factory, plastic needs to be non-biodegradable waste, it's not acidic. So the answer is B. All the car batteries, or in fact all the inverter batteries, they all contain acid in them. And that acidic waste, when it is discharged into the river, it is obviously going to make the water acidic, and the pH will be less than 7. In the next question, examiner is asking which of the following statement is incorrect. Let us see. Economic development is linked to environmental conservation. It is true, because there is no use of development when it is not linked with environmental conservation. Next statement is sustainable development meets the current basic human needs and also preserves resources for future generations. Absolutely correct statement, because this is what sustainable development is, and that is why we are insisting upon such a type of development. Next, sustainable development does not take into consideration the viewpoints of all stakeholders. Now this is wrong, because if the viewpoint of all the stakeholders is not taken, what is the use of taking up such strategy? So this is an incorrect statement. Let us see the next one. Sustainable development is a long planned and persistent development. Exactly. Why? Because it is keeping in view the future generations also. So it is a long planned and persistent development. So out of these four, this C is the incorrect statement, and that is why it is the correct answer. Question number 21 says that groundwater will not be depleted due to. Is it the process of afforestation because of which groundwater will not be depleted, or establishing thermal power plants, or process of deforestation, or cultivation of high yielding varieties of crops? Which one is the correct answer? What do you think? It is A, the process of afforestation, because this afforestation is going to restore the groundwater. If we are establishing thermal power plants, they will be consuming more water. Deforestation obviously is going to be disastrous for groundwater, and the high yielding varieties of crops, if we are going to cultivate them, even they require more water for irrigation. That is why it is not going to increase, rather decrease the groundwater. So it is the process of afforestation with which groundwater can be restored and increased. So A is the right answer to this question. Coming to the next question, ahars, kattas, bundis and khadens. These are modes of grain storage or soil conservation or water harvesting or cold storage. These are ancient water harvesting systems. Ahars are found in Bihar, Kattas in Karnataka, Bundis are in Madhya Pradesh, and Khadins are in Rajasthan. Fine, I'm revising side by side so that you are able to learn and revise and memorize them. Next question. Which of the following combination of terms has no fossil fuel? Wind, ocean, coke, kerosene, tide, wind, wood, wind, sun, petrol, wood, sun. In these combination, in the first option we have got coke. This is basically a fossil fuel. Here we have got kerosene obtained from petroleum, a fossil fuel. In this pair, we do not have any fossil fuel, neither wood nor wind nor sun. In this also we have got petrol as a fossil fuel. So it's a very creative question. In this we have got C as the right answer because this option does not have any word related to any fossil fuel. Clear? Coming to the next question. The use of one of the following is eco-friendly. This one is cars for transportation can't be eco-friendly, creating a lot of pollution. Poly bags for shopping, non-biodegradable waste, can't be eco-friendly. Windmills for generating power, this is eco-friendly, doesn't cause any kind of pollution. Dyes for coloring clothes, once again polluting the environment. So, in these options, option number C, using the windmills for generating power is an eco-friendly method. Fine. Next, Chipko movement. Again, the question came from the same Hug the Trees movement. Is concerned with, is it the plant conservation or animal breeding or Project Tiger or plant breeding? It is not Project Tiger. It is not related to animal. It is related to plant. Now the option is it plant breeding or plant conservation? It is the conservation of plants. We are not breeding the new varieties here. That is, we are just conserving the existing ones that were there. Fine. So this question, Chipko movement, is concerned with, the answer is plant conservation, option number A. Next question. In the recent years, there has been an increasing incidence of floods in the plains of northern India because, first option is, there has been an increase in annual rainfall, or the rate of silting of dams has gone up, or there has been increased deforestation in the catchment areas, or there are increased areas of land is being self-cultivated. Floods are mainly caused because of deforestation of any area. And since in northern plains, northern parts of India, the deforestation has taken place to a huge level. That is why we have got increasing incidences of floods here. So the answer is C. It is because of the increased deforestation in the catchment areas. Let us see the next question. Which agricultural practice help in maintaining soil fertility? Is it crop rotation? Yes, it is. Crop rotation helps in replenishing the soil with the nutrients. Intercropping is also an agricultural practice which helps in maintaining the soil fertility. Multiple cropping also helps in doing it. So obviously the answer is all of the above, option number D. All these practices, whether it is crop rotation or intercropping or multiple cropping, they help in maintaining soil fertility. Crop rotation is that you are rotating the crops, one crop, and the next season you will be having a different crop. Intercropping is basically you are growing two or more crops in a fixed row pattern. Multiple cropping is same that you are growing two or more crops in a particular field, but it is not in a particular pattern like intercropping, right? So all these are going to increase the soil fertility. Let's see the next question. Which soil has the maximum water holding capacity? We know it is the loamy soil which has got the maximum water holding capacity. This we have studied in natural resources also, that loamy soil is best for plant growth, loamy soil is best for wheat production, right? So it is the loamy soil which has got the maximum water holding capacity. Answer is C. Let's see the next question. Most fertile farmlands have acidic soil, alkaline soil, neutral soil, or none of these. Obviously, if we are talking about most fertile, it has to be neutral, because if the soil is too acidic or alkaline, in that case, fertility hampers. Clear? Next question. In your opinion, which is the most effective way to conserve the plant diversity of an area? How can we conserve the plant diversity? By tissue culture method, or by creating biosphere, or by creating the botanical garden, or by developing seed bank? All these can contribute to conserve the plant diversity, but out of these, the most appropriate and the most productive option is by creating biosphere. So B is the answer we need to mark. Now in question number 31, it is saying that India has only 2.4% of the world's land area, but its share of the global species diversity is. Option given to us are 1.8%, 3.1%, 5.1%, or 8.1%. Now this is the first question which we can say that we should note it down if we don't know the answer or we have not read it from anywhere, because these are statistical values. Actually it is 5.1%, right? India's share of the global species diversity is 5.1%. C is the right answer. Clear? Next, the total number of identified biodiversity hotspots in the world are. Again, kind of GK question I can assume, and it's better you note it down. These are 34. Across the world, there are 34 identified biodiversity hotspots. Fine. Coming to the next question. Now, this is what I was telling when I was teaching you this chapter in the previous class, that this is what you need to learn and remember. Let us see. Kanha National Park is located in Dash and is famous for Dash. Now, no guesses. If you know the answer, perfect. If you don't, just mark it up, note it down. Kanha National Park is situated in Madhya Pradesh and it is famous for tiger. It is a tiger reserve, right? So, answer is B. Just note down Kanha National Park. Once again, it is more of a general knowledge question, right? Rather than science question related to the chapter, but we need to relate and learn normally two or three main national parks and the names. Next, which of the following is the use of license in case of pollution? Now, when we are talking about license, we know that they are the bioindicators. So, for pollution, they act as bioindicators, especially in the increase of the amount of sulfur dioxide. Let us see what options are given to us. Lichens are not related with pollution. Wrong option. Lichens act as bioindicators of pollution. Right option. They treat the polluted water. Obviously not. They promote pollution. No. So B, that these lichens are the bioindicators of pollution, especially the increase of sulfur dioxide. Let's see the next question. The general rule to preserve our resource is, how can we preserve the resources? First option is reduce, second is recycle, third is reuse, and fourth is all of these. So do you think that I need to tell the answer? I don't think so. That nobody of you knows the answer or doesn't know the answer. It is basically all of these. These are the three R's we are talking about, which we are doing our level best to follow. The three R's to save our resources and to preserve them. Next, Amrita Devi Bishnoi is associated with, the spelling of Devi is wrong, it should be Devi, right? Amrita Devi Bishnoi is associated with, options given to us are protection of tigers, protection of khejri trees in Khejrali, protection of trees in Reni in Garhwal, and protection of Aravalli forest range. The answer is B. Amrita Devi Bishnoi is associated with protection of khejri trees in Khejrali village near Jodhpur in Rajasthan. She is not related to protection of tigers. The protection of trees in Reni in Garhwal, it was the Hug the Tree movement, and protection of Aravalli forest range associated with this is Forest Officer A.K. Banerjee. You need to remember, maybe even they can also be asked. In this question, it is B being the right answer. Coming to the next question, guys. Local system of canal irrigation in Himachal Pradesh is. Now, this is important because you need to learn the water harvesting systems with their state name. In Himachal Pradesh, it is the Kuls. Got it? This is the Kuls. Khadins are in Rajasthan, Bandharas in Maharashtra, Ahars and Pines are in Bihar. It is Kuls. This is the local system of canal irrigation which is there in HP, Himachal Pradesh. So we are going to mark C to be the answer. Next, Rajaji National Park. It is situated in Tamil Nadu or Karnataka or Uttarakhand or Rajasthan. Uttarakhand is the right answer. Rajaji National Park is situated in Uttarakhand. Option number C. Next, you may note down this question if you don't know already. Next question is, Biodiversity Act of India was passed by the Parliament in year. Now the options are 1996, 1992, 2002 and 2000. It was year 2002 when this Biodiversity Act of India was passed in the Parliament. Please note it down because this you will not find in your book. Clear? GK questions. Next, same, noted down also. The Wildlife Protection Act was introduced in, was it in 1972 or 1986 or 1981 or 1991? It was in 1972 that Wildlife Protection Act was introduced. Again, a question which is worth noting down. Next question is, prolonged liberal irrigation of agricultural field is likely to create problem of. Now, if we are irrigating the agricultural field prolonged way for quite some time, what it will lead to? It will lead to either acidity or aridity or metal toxicity or salinity. It will lead to the salinity. The problem of salinity will be found. So D is the answer. 42 question says, minerals, metal and fossil fuels are which type of resources of energy? Are they renewable? No. We cannot renew the fossil fuels or metals or minerals. Are they biodegradable? Metals are not biodegradable. Are they non-renewable? Yes, they are non-renewable sources. Are they degradable? No. Why? Because metals, again, cannot be degraded. So answer is non-renewable. All of these are non-renewable sources of energy which are in limited amount in nature, and they cannot be, actually, they're not inexhaustible. It's not like that they are not going to end. They are not going to get depleted or finished. So these are all non-renewable. They are not able to be renewed. Let's see the next question. The greatest problem of water conservation is to reduce the amount of, is it precipitation or groundwater or runoff water or evaporation? Now, you cannot do anything in evaporation and precipitation. Rest two options are either runoff water or groundwater. Let us try to relate the question once again. The greatest problem of water conservation is to reduce the amount of. Now, when it comes to groundwater, we actually want to increase the amount of groundwater. So even the groundwater won't be our answer. It is the runoff water. We need to reduce the amount of runoff water if we want to conserve water, and that is what exactly is one of the major problems, is how to do it, how to reduce the amount of runoff water. So here B will be the answer. Coming to the next question, which of the following is an inexhaustible resource? Inexhaustible means which is non-exhaustible, which is not going to exhaust, right? Fossil fuels, coal, solar energy, or petroleum. The answer is right in front of us very, very clearly. It is the solar energy which is not going to be exhausted. Fossil fuels are limited in amount. They are going to be exhausted very soon. Coal, again limited in amount, example of fossil fuel. Petroleum, example of fossil fuel. They are all non-renewable sources of energy or exhaustible sources of energy. So, solar energy, B option is the right one. So students, these are a few questions which we need to learn by heart, because these questions are comparatively very important and they have come in examination in the past few years. In these questions, mainly you saw that the cases of human intervention, Amrita Devi Bishnoi, especially the Khejri trees, Kejrali village, right? And she is associated with conservation of forest and wildlife. Then A.K. Banerjee and the Aravalli forest range and the degraded Sal forest. These terms you need to relate and remember, very important. Hug the Tree Chipko movement associated with trees and from Rainy village in Garhwal, early 1970s. They are the most important ones. Yet another important thing that you actually related in these questions are the ancient water harvesting systems. I hope that you all have learned them properly, because I specially mentioned in my previous class that that is the area where you'll be needed to focus a bit. Just don't be casual by learning any 3, any 4, that are not going to do for you, okay? The examiners are also smart enough and they know where you lack, and that is what they are going to take advantage of. So make sure you learn them. Apart from that, there were 3 or 4 questions which I circled and I wanted you people to note down if you don't know. For example, the Kana National Park, and we talked about various laws and acts. So 4 questions were there which we never discussed while we were taking up the class. So make sure that you note them down for future reference and you revise it again. Fine everyone. So this is all about our management of natural resources. Time to end the class. In the next class, we will be meeting with a new topic, with a new chapter. All those who have already done management of natural resources, very good. If you have not done, please make sure that by the time we are having our next class, you are through and thorough with the chapter properly. Fine, students? So, we'll meet in the next class. Till then, take care of yourself and have a very good time. Goodbye, everyone.